I've never been good about that in the past, but I have to learn to do that if I want to live this way for the rest of my life. Hi guys, welcome to Dawn Does Keto. I'm Dawn, and this is week 3 in keeping you guys updated and keeping myself accountable to my keto diet. First off, before I forget, I have an email that I set up for you guys to reach out and contact me if there's anything you want to talk to me about. I actually set this up last week and I forgot to mention it in last week's video, so I thought I would say this and get that part out of the way. It is dawndoesketo@gmail.com, and it's in the description below, but just so you know, you can reach out to me anytime if you have any questions or just something that you would like to talk about. Feel free to send me an email at that email address. Something I want to touch on every single week for myself are my struggles and my successes. First off, I did stay keto all week long. Again, that's a huge success. It was not a perfect week. It wasn't as clean as last week. So my son and daughter-in-law were on vacation this week, so I had my 2 grandbabies all week long. I've told you before, I have a 2-year-old granddaughter and I have a 1-year-old granddaughter. So that really put a wrinkle in my entire week. I did not sleep. And I know sleep is a huge thing in a weight loss journey. You have to get good sleep. But when they are here, I never get into a good sleep. I sleep with one ear open and constantly listening for them to like get up in the middle of the night, you know, hear them moving around. One of them, they're both in pack and place, but one of them can crawl out of the pack and place. So I had that like in the back of my mind. So needless to say, my sleep was almost non-existent this week. I am still just exhausted. The other struggle that I had this week was that I did not get my electrolytes in. I was not as diligent about my electrolytes this week as I was the previous week. Again, that was a lot of it is because I was super busy with the girls, and honestly, I put myself on the back burner, which is not necessarily the right thing to do, but I did do that this week, and that made things a little bit more difficult. I know when I'm not getting my electrolytes, I don't feel optimal. That can also stall my weight loss. So, it being a busy week, I ate out 4 times. 4 times we went out to eat this week. On Wednesday, we took the grandbabies to see my mom. She decided as we were coming over that she wanted us to bring dinner. We ended up getting Arby's. Again, I stayed keto. I got roast beef in a bowl with natural cheddar and bacon. I was proud of that. That was a success that I stayed keto, but you just know when you eat out that everything doesn't have the absolute cleanest ingredients. That's just something you have to roll with that. When I eat at home, I try to eat super clean, but when I go out to eat, I just know that the ingredients aren't going to be as clean. But I did stay keto. That was definitely a success. Then on Thursday, I had a struggle. I did not intermittent fast on Thursday. Again, I stayed keto, but I snacked keto on and off all day long. I just struggled that day. I was home with the girls. I was just grabbing things here and there. Anywhere I get a chance, I'd walk into the kitchen, I'd grab something. They were keto snacks and keto foods, you know, beef jerky, cheese, that kind of stuff. But I snacked all day long, which is not good for me. On Friday, I had promised my sister, who was turning 50, she's my half sister, we're both 50 this year, that I would take her out for Chinese food because that's her favorite food for her birthday. So we went and got Chinese food, and I got chicken and broccoli. So again, probably not the cleanest ingredients, but totally keto, and that's all that I had. I bypassed, this is definitely a success, the cheese wontons dipped in sweet and sour sauce, which are my absolute favorite things from a Chinese restaurant. I also bypassed like the lo mein. I didn't have any rice. It was definitely a success because there were way worse things that I could have eaten, so I was pretty proud of that. My husband had decided that he had been wanting wings, so we were going to get wings on Saturday, which is like a regular thing for us. We love wings, so that was fine. I had a keto chow earlier in the day to break my fast, so I did go back to my intermittent fasting, and we went out probably around 7, which was a little bit late. I had 16 wings at one of our favorite wing places. It's not a chain or anything like that. It's just like a local place. That was the third day that we ate out. And finally, Sunday, which was Mother's Day, I had a beautiful day with my daughter and her fiance. We went with my mom, my mother-in-law, and Zach's mom and two of his grandmothers. So it was a nice group of us. We went to a place called Hale Farm and Village. It's an outdoor historical living museum. So that was a great day. After, we just went to Five Guys. That was my fourth day of eating out. I had a burger and a bowl with the toppings, again, totally keto. So I would say going out this week was definitely a struggle, but it was a success that I was able to stay keto the whole time. Something else I need to work on this week, which shouldn't be too hard with the girls being gone now, is my electrolytes and my sleep. And then I will be set up for success for next week. Something that I want to talk about that a lot of people talk about is counting macros. That's kind of what the topic of this video this week is going to be. Do I count macros? And the answer is no, I do not. I did Weight Watchers for years on and off. I probably joined Weight Watchers at least 3 times, maybe 4 times. One of the things was tiresome for me was tracking and counting points. I just could never sustain it. I would just get to a point, I'd be gung-ho at first, and then I'd just be like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to count. I don't want to keep track. I just want to eat. When I started keto and started doing my research, I found that a lot of people don't count or track anything other than trying to keep their carbs at 20 or under, which was pretty easy to do without writing anything down or actually like keeping track. When I did Weight Watchers, I actually had a tracking calculator that kept track of your points. Again, that was just something I did not want to deal with. So part of the appeal for keto for me was the fact that I would not have to count or track points. I decided on my journey that that's something I don't want to do. I know that living my life, that's not something I'm going to do for the rest of my life, so it's not sustainable for me. I'm doing keto my way. This is Dawn Keto. Do you track? Let me know in the comments below if tracking and calculating macros is something that you do. For some people, they have to, and that's what they need to do. But that's not something I want to do. It's confusing, keeping track of everything. And when I'm eating my 2 meals a day or my 1 meal a day, I don't really have to worry about it too much. I told you before, usually to break my fast, I have like my fat coffee, which is what I have today. Or I do a keto chow. My husband and I, every now and then, like we did one day this week, we made scrambled eggs with cheese and we had bacon, and that was my breakfast. So that was my first meal. It wasn't a huge meal. It was just something to break our fast. Then I'm having my one larger meal at the end of the day, and I try to make sure that it's heavy on protein. I fill up on protein. If I'm in the mood for veggies, I eat them. I don't force myself. I don't feel like I have to have vegetables at every meal, but it's usually a very protein heavy meal, and I just eat until I'm full. I try to do more intuitive eating. I've never been good about that in the past, but I have to learn to do that if I want to live this way for the rest of my life. So that is something, when I am staying strict keto and I'm eating whole foods, I just feel like for me, tracking is not something that I want to do. Okay, so now this week I want to talk about my results. All of that being said, my struggles and my successes for this week. I weighed in this morning and I was 185.6. So I actually gained 0.6 of a pound since last week. Considering the week that I had, I wasn't super displeased with that. I'm still down, overall I'm down 3 pounds. I'm still in the plus here, so we're doing okay. It's always a new day, and I tend to get my electrolytes in. I intend to get my sleep this week. Hopefully there won't be as many eating out opportunities. But if we do, I will have a plan and I will try to stick to that plan. That's pretty much all I can do. We used to eat out all the time. I mean, on a daily basis. My husband and I, neither one of us like to cook, and we get very, very lazy, so we tend to go out to eat a lot. We are just social people. We go out a lot with friends. In order to incorporate keto into my lifestyle, it's just something I'm gonna have to deal with, and making good choices when I go out and not being like, well, I'm out to eat so I can have the bread and I can have the desserts. I feel proud of myself if we go out to eat and I stay on plan. So I'd like to say a special thank you to a few of my subscribers who have commented the last couple weeks. They've been faithful. They're watching the videos. They commented on both videos, and that made me super happy. So I'd like to say thank you to Susie, Tony, Suzanne, JJ, Debbie, and Sherry. Thank you guys so much for your support. Starting a YouTube channel is not an easy thing to do, and having people to interact with and people who are watching and supporting you just means so much to me. Everyone, let me know in the comments below, how has your week been? Have you been sticking to your plan? Have you been off plan? I want to keep you guys accountable as well as myself accountable for the decisions that we make in this lifestyle. As always, please like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so that when I post my next video, you will be alerted. Thank you so much. Bye.